Hi, I'm Lou Holder, your host for the Prince George's Community College Athletic Hall of Fame Special. This formidable class of athletes built a foundation for excellence within the National Junior College Athletic Association. The Prince George's Community College legacy is full of superstars with a national championship coach, 5 All-American athletes, and 2 team captains. Each made a significant contribution to the athletic history of the college and their respective sport. We sat down with our athletic director, Joann Todaro, to talk about each of these Hall of Famers. Plus, I had the privilege of hearing the Hall of Famers tell their stories. So let's take a look at the second inductee class of the Prince George's Community College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Everyone calls me Joann here because our old athletic director, when I came here, there was already a Joe that was a coach. He put it together, and I've been Joann ever since. Okay. So when someone calls me Joann, I know they're calling me from the college. To connect our past with our current student athletes, the Hall of Fame award ceremony was, it's always fun. There's only been 2 of them because of COVID. But the athletes come back and they share their stories about what they experienced here with our current student athletes. And it also gave them the sense of what we say, right? We talk about we're an Al family. You're an Al for life. We'll always care about you. And I think they see that at the Hall of Fame when they come back. So I think it's important to recognize them.
Dr. Bernie Smolen. He was a beloved men's soccer coach and professor at Prince George's Community College. Smolen was the mastermind behind the 1982 and 83 teams that finished 3rd and 5th in the nation.
Dr. Smolen was the men's soccer coach when I started here. He was the 2nd men's soccer coach for our program. He took the team to a national championship in 1982 and 1983.
It's an honor. I put 32 years here teaching and coaching at this school, the college, 10 years in the county public schools, and to be recognized for this is quite an honor. And it's really nice to be sitting with some of my former players. That's the real honor.
Many of our Hall of Fame soccer players all played for him. Kenny, who got inducted, and Richard, who got inducted last time, both played for him on the national teams. And Hector Vargas played his first year under Dr. Smolen. Great coach.
Well, the funny thing is, after I finished coaching, one of my former players became the coach. So it was nice to have the follow on. And then a number of the people who are here. One of the things that people don't realize when you're talking about sports, everybody's not going to get a scholarship. Everybody's not going to do stuff.
But I got a call from Scott Smolen, Bernie's son. And he played at Bowie High School. I was at High Point High School. And he said, "Hey, what are you doing next year?" I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "You want to play soccer at college?" I was like, "College?" Yeah, I heard of college. I had people asking me to go to some colleges, but I didn't know what the next steps were. And he said, "Come visit us." He came here, and from there, Bernie Smolen kind of showed me that there's a better way than to go to work and have an education, play soccer, do something that you love.
We had 35 kids get help to go on to school after they left our program, and we had 16 All-Americans. So that was a real good motivation for me to keep coaching. I enjoyed it. Teaching has always been, like I told my classes when I was teaching, it's not a job, it's a career. If you like what you're doing, it's never hard. When I left here, I had 350 days of sick leave. I didn't take off. I liked teaching. I was here every day. And I like coaching, so everything went well. As a former teacher, once we get a microphone, we don't stop. I had 43 years of teaching, 10 in public school and 33 here. This was a great place. I watched the growth. I don't recognize all the places that are here. I would like to thank Joann and Tyler and all the people who made this such a great evening tonight, and for the honor you've given me to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. But I get the W's by my name, or the L's for the losses. But some of the things that happened are only because of the players I got. They were real players, and those of you who are athletes here, You know what your coaches do, and I congratulate all of you at the same time for the effort and the work you've done. Thank you.
Debbie Alongi was a tri-sport athlete at Prince George's Community College. She made her mark at PGCC and went on to a 4-year university.
I was busy, but it was enjoyable. I loved it. Basketball was my main sport, and then I decided I love field hockey. So I thought I'll give this a try, and it so happened it came right after the basketball season, and then volleyball followed. And I just stayed busy. It was not really difficult. And I was at high school the year before when Title IX started. So this was a big deal for me. I wanted to play as much competitive sports as possible.
I had the honor of meeting her at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and she was an outstanding basketball player. I believe she played 3 sports for us.
It feels wonderful to be acknowledged. We worked hard to get where we were in that year, trying to play other schools. We actually, in high school, my last year, 73 in Bladensburg, had to call other schools just to play them because we didn't have a women's league. The boys' basketball team had, regular seasons, and we didn't. So we were fighting tooth and nail to get the same kind of competition. And finally, the year after I left, that's what happened. The girls got the competitions, they had a regular season, and then I ended up here, so that was perfect. I slid right into competition. I excelled in basketball better than the other 2. I loved field hockey, and I was a decent player, and I was tough, and you had to be with a wooden stick. But basketball I played since I was about 7 years old, all the way through. And in club ball, I played for Landover Hills Boys Club, and since I was 7, and softball too. And those were my 2 major sports, but we didn't have softball here when I played. I was lucky enough to be able to afford to come to school, and I thought, let's just go here and see where this takes me. And I made the best friends here, still people that I talk to, and I loved my coaches. Everybody, it felt like family here. And I felt good to come here every day. And it just really felt, there weren't half as many buildings as there are now. It was just fun. It was a good family atmosphere, and I felt safe here, and I felt cared for. And those are the kind of things you want to feel when you're not at home. And that's what I felt here.
Donna Linkous Hager made sports and college history at Prince George's Community College. Hager led the women's basketball team to the national tournament in 1979, and in that same year earned first-team recognition, capturing the Region 20 championship. Meet Donna Linkous Hager.
I just played everything, but I guess it was the camaraderie of everybody here. The coaches had faith in me. They knew what I could do and what I couldn't do, and they allowed me to play my game.
Well, Donna played before I got here, but Ronnie Mann was her coach, and he used to talk about what an exceptional athlete she was. And she, during the award ceremony, told us some great stories about, them playing back here in the day, and how she went on to be inducted into I think it's USSA Softball Hall of Fame. Yeah, so she's a phenomenal softball player. I wish I had the opportunity to see her play.
Yeah, it was my teammates around me that helped make me who I was. And my coaches gave me the opportunities that I would have never, ever had. And I had some very good coaches. And Barbara Bauer was my first coach, and then, of course, I had Ron Mann for softball.
To hear what it used to be like, and I'll tell you, Donna, one of our current Hall of Famers, talked about how they used to drive station wagons to get to games. And she told that story to our current athletes, and they were all like, station wagons? So it gave them an opportunity to see how far we've come over the years.
Kenny Eisinminger dominated in men's soccer, playing the team's defensive anchor in the 1982 and 83 seasons. And in that 83 season, the Owls finished 5th in the national tournament. Let's hear more from Kenny now.
It was kind of a shock. But it was a great call. One of the best calls I've ever had in my life. I mean, I never knew we had a Hall of Fame. I guess they just started it, so it was kind of a surreal moment. Really brought back a lot of memories of playing. So with all the guys that I played with, we were really close. We did everything together. As a matter of fact, when I left to go to play on further, over the years, 13 more guys from here played at my college in South Carolina. So it's a special friendship we have with all those guys.
Kenny played for Dr. Smolen in 1982 and 1983. He was on the two teams that went to national tournament. He is an avid supporter of athletics. He graduated from Prince George's, went on to Francis Marion and played there.
I mean, it was just a great atmosphere of players. And each year was different because we had a whole new team. The second year I came, we only had 6 original players from the team before, out of 30. So it was pretty special to meet all the guys from the metro area that came to play here. Especially that second year when we were already been to the national tournament, and then all these guys said, "Oh, let's go play there. They have a great team." So it was a lot of fun. There's still a lot of memories.
He donates. He talks to our student athletes, and he's a really funny guy.
Being a student athlete, having to play and go to school at the same time, it's kind of like having a job and playing. So, it prepared me for the next level.
PGCC's own Alan Mitchell played for Hall of Fame coach John Wiley, and in his freshman season won the Region 20 Division II title. As team captain, they went on to the national tournament where they finished 3rd in the nation.
Oh, I was excited, very excited, emotional too. And I felt as though the year was our year. 90, we established that going to the nationals, and we got to the Final Four, and we came 3rd in the nation. So it was exciting.
So Alan played for us and actually worked as a student worker in our athletic department when he played 2 years for us. I've known Alan forever. I still talk to him almost daily.
So it was exciting, so to get the call. And also, the hard work, like I said, I'm a kid from Southeast Washington, D.C., born and raised. And when you fight through all those temptations back then and just to overcome it, and also just to get the call from Coach Wilder to come play for him, that was a blessing in itself. And just being on this campus and then also learn to become more of a leader as well under his, extra tutelage, as I like to say. So I learned a lot.
Price Williams played Owls basketball on that storied 1991 championship team that finished 3rd in the nation. He went on to earn 2nd team All-American recognition.
Price played when I was here. He was an outstanding men's basketball player. Played for us for 2 years.
It's a great feeling to be inducted into the Prince George's Community College Hall of Fame. It's something that I've thought about, being here, actually being an All-American here, actually going to the championships, some of the first championships, being on some of those teams. So I was very proud of that. And I think that, the performance that I put upon the court, it was actually warranted to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And when I got the call, I was just excited. And then when I got the call that they were inducting my high school teammate, Alan Mitchell, it just blew me away. So I'm very happy for him, as he was the person that, wrote the letter, trying to get me into the Hall of Fame. So I'm just very happy just to be a member.
Becky Preston Doris is the Owls' only 4-sport athlete and 2-time Female Athlete of the Year. Becky's leadership was the cornerstone of her success as team captain for basketball, bowling, soccer, and softball.
She was two-time athlete of the year, All-American. So I'm proud of her, both as her coach as well as her mom. So I was really happy when she got nominated and got into the Hall of Fame. Not quite sure how she got in there before me, but
honestly, when I got the call, I was like, me? Are you calling for me, or you want me to talk about somebody else that's coming in? Just because it is a great honor. I mean, I know many people that are already Hall of Famers, just from my time being here, since I've been here for 40 years. My mom started here, so it's just such an honor. I mean, really, the people that I'm even inducted with this year, Hector I've known since high school. It's just like, oh my gosh, how lucky you and I get to do this together. And, you know, I always watched him play and wish I had even 1% of his talent.
I will tell a story about her. She actually was going to Clemson on a full ride. And when the college decided that they were going to field a women's soccer team, she came to me about the middle of August as we were packing up our van to take her to Clemson and said, "Mom, I'd really like to play at PG and not go." And I went, "Are you out of your mind?" And she was like, "No, I've always wanted to be an Owl." So I made her call the coach and tell the coach that she was not going to be coming and that she was going to stay at Prince George's.
And I've literally been coming to Prince George's Community College since I was 5. I started here as just a supporter, watching my mom do her thing, and then over time I was an on-call, and then I was a student, and I was an athlete. I've been an adjunct faculty member here. I mean, I grew up my whole life wanting to come to PG Community College. I mean, I wanted to be an Owl, and nobody could stop me from being an Owl. It was bred into me.
Soccer all-star Hector Vargas is one of the few Owls in college history to be selected as a 2-time first-team NJCAA All-American. He was Maryland JUCO Region 20 Player of the Year in 1996.
An exceptional ball player, great forward. I had the privilege of watching him in high school and then watching him when he came here. After he played 2 years for us, he went to American University and played there. I remember he was on the front cover of their sports program for that year, which was really cool. And he still is active here. He volunteers with our team, comes out a couple times a week. Tremendous striker. Oh my God, he's so good. He's still good today because he's still active playing in leagues, and I occasionally see him when I'm out recruiting, and it's great to see him still playing.
It was a shock, and I felt like an honor. I mean, somebody called me, Taylor called me, and they told me what I did, my accomplishments when I played here, the tenure that I had here, and the impact that it had. And I was very surprised and very honored. I was a leading vote getter here in the East Coast. I didn't even know what that meant. And then the next year I did the same again, and then I was like, oh, I could probably make an impact. And so after that, I was like, I can make an impact to the next generation. I can go bring people to PG. And that's what I did. That's what I took from that experience. But to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I told my brother, and he was like, dude, you're gonna be living forever now. Your name is gonna be up in the thing forever. And I was like, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a great honor. But the impact of soccer is just, it's a community. It's a cohesiveness. If you're part of a team, let's build together, let's grow together, let's win together, that kind of thing. So I've been playing soccer since I was a toddler, and I think soccer is a huge impact. And here in PG, it's growing tremendously as well. Yeah.
William Gill was a model student athlete at Prince George's Community College, playing on that men's basketball team, and now serves the DMV community as a police officer.
William Gill. He was a phenomenal men's basketball player as well. I remember he was like the first. We used to paint the names on the wall of athletes that made All-American. And I remember he was the first name I painted on the wall in the gym, is what I remember. And I remember what a great ball player he was. I just don't remember his stats off the top of my head.
It means a lot to me. I was honestly surprised. Thought I was maybe too young to receive an honor like this. You know, while I was here at PG Community College, I was working a almost full-time job, playing sports and doing school. So it was a lot of hard work that went into it. You know, I really took my craft seriously as far as playing basketball. So I'm very thankful. I shared it with my kids. They didn't believe me. But you know, they'll believe me once they see you know, the stuff. So I enjoyed my time here. Like I said, I was a full-time student, but I had to work and do school. I met a lot of people that I still see today, you know, within the community and stuff like that. It really prepared me for my 4-year school that I went to. You know, just having to go to school, not living on campus or having to drive here, then go to my class. Then, you know, it was all time management. So it really prepared me for my 4-year school, which I didn't think about when I enrolled here my first year.
Asyja Smith was a 2-time All-American women's basketball player for the Owls. During her first year, Smith finished second in the country in average scoring with just over 24 points per contest, while earning All-Region and All-Maryland JUCO honors. Her second season, she eclipsed 1,000 career point plateau and took home All-Region and All-Maryland JUCO honors while earning first-team NJCAA Division III All-American status. The job of the athletic director is a difficult and thankless one. Long hours and responsibility for multiple programs and logistics. No one has done the job with more class and grace than Joann Todaro. The NJCAA agrees by recently bestowing on her the Carol Estes Athletic Director of the Year.
I was really honored to get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. I've been actively involved in the NJCAA in a leadership role since 1997, and specifically women's soccer. So I have had the great honor to advocate for that sport to grow nationally, and we've done that. When I first started, it was only 8 teams that went to national, and there was probably less than 75 teams that played in the whole country. Now we're up to almost 300 teams. The national tournament is pool play and 12 teams. We have Division I, Division II, and Division III that we didn't have when I started. And it's been a passion of mine, and I'm super honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for them. I was the first soccer coach here, women's soccer coach. Started the program in 1997, actually fall of 96, because I told you we do the last year when we talk about years. So in fall of 1996 was the first year that we fielded women's soccer. I was a gymnast. I did specialize in the uneven bars and the floor routine. I did not play in college. I was busy with academics, and those days women's sports weren't as, that was right as Title IX was happening, and women's sports were just really starting in college. So I did not have the opportunity that our student athletes have today. I think I've learned that we can all overcome anything if we try hard enough, and that it's really important to help them grow as a person and to give them the support that they need to be successful. I didn't think I expected that when I got into athletics. I think I thought it was really all about teaching them the sport. And I think that that's really a minor part of it. Well, I'm super proud of all of our student athletes. Whether they get an award or win a championship, it doesn't really matter. I'm most proud of when they graduate and move on to a 4-year school. And it's very important to me to connect with our student athletes one-on-one. Many of them don't live here. They're renting apartments, so they don't have family here. So I think it's important to have someone on campus that can help them.
Thank you, Joann, for the job that you have done and the example that you have set for others. You are definitely one of the precious gems of Prince George's Community College. Well, that will do it for this Hall of Fame special honoring the second inductee class. Congratulations to all the winners, and thanks to all those who make Prince George's Community College truly a special place. Thanks for watching, and go Owls.